December 1, we celebrated the World AIDS Day, an international day dedicated to raising awareness of the AIDS pandemic caused by the spread of HIV infection and mourning those who have died of the disease. For this week's episode, we're so glad to have the volunteers of Love Yourself White House here in Cebu City. Si Lois, let us welcome Sir Dennis and Sir Maurice from Love Yourself. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for having us here, Ms. Korea.
Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Because our purpose is really to inform people, to make them aware of what's happening with regards to HIV and AIDS right now in the country. We want to know how that started, what exactly it is, what is the very thrust of your organization, and how did it all start?
Okay.
Actually, Love Yourself was founded in 2011 by two young men in Manila. They were Dr. Ronnie Vin Paktakhan and Chris Langman. Actually, Ronnie Vin Paktakhan was awarded before as one of the 10 outstanding young men in the world for humanitarian services.
Wow.
So right now, we have 6 community centers all over the Philippines, and here in
Seven.
Seven
Right.
community centers all over the Philippines. And right now here in Cebu, we opened our first community center outside Manila. So we opened last April this year, and we have catered to a lot of people now.
So you're saying that the concentration of your community centers or the Love Yourself organization is in Luzon?
Yes.
Yes, it's in Luzon. Technically, kasi si Love Yourself is considered basically as a national model for community-based organizations in the Philippines.
Okay.
We do have our own 7 centers, and at the same time, we support 11 other community-based organizations. So, for example, Mujer in Zamboanga. We also have
What's their focus?
HIV and AIDS as well.
So
In Cagayan de Oro, we also have
Oroquilla.
Olympus in
Davao.
all dealing with HIV, right?
Yes,
Here
HIV
in
and
Cebu,
AIDS.
we have we support 2 CDOs as well. We have girls
And Bizdak, right?
Business, yes.
Yes. And going back to Vin and Chris, the original founders actually, there's 6 of them. Chris and Vin are known social media personalities, and they use their platform basically to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS. So that's how it all started. They have a lot of following, and people are actually asking about the situation. So they decided to use their platform basically to raise awareness, and it started from there. They were able to inspire more and more people, and we currently have we have 1,200 volunteers all over the Philippines, of which 140 are here in Cebu. So that's the story of Love Yourself.
So how do you help address the stigma of HIV? How do you do that?
Bottom line is education. Okay, we also have this saying that there's a cycle kasi as a community, as an organization, or as a culture, we remain silent about HIV and AIDS. And
Yeah, I want to say something about that. Yes, we remain silent, but we know that it's getting bigger,
It is.
Because I heard from one of our reporters here that Cebu in Region 7 has the highest number of HIV positives, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so we want to know, because there are a lot of volunteers already really giving their time because they want to advocate this, because they know that it's really getting bad.
Right.
So how bad is this bad?
How bad is bad? Okay, so let me give you some numbers to
Please.
put it into perspective. Currently in Region 7, there's about 6,100 people living with HIV.
Wow.
Right. Okay, that is a subgroup basically of the 68,000 that's currently for the whole Philippines. Okay. Of that 6,100, 93% are in Cebu province.
Wow.
Okay, which means that our other provinces like Bohol, Negros Oriental, and Siquijor are actually underserved.
What could be, when you say underserved, what does that mean?
We don't have enough reach, we don't have enough activities, we don't have other organizations like Love Yourself that provide support and at the same time education basically to get more people tested.
So could it be that we have the highest rate of HIVs because we're
Mas
more
stronger
aware?
kita, mas stronger kita. But I think if I give you that number, that 6,100 and 93% of that is actually from Cebu province, here's the other thing that you need to understand. Our population in Cebu right now is about 5 million. Am I right? That's right, no? 5 million. If you use that ratio, we are currently 1 out of every 700 adults or 15 years old and above is currently positive. But the World Health Organization would say that that number is actually understated, which means that there's a possibility that 1 out of every 300 to 700 is HIV positive. That means that you out there, whoever you are, you probably sat beside someone who's already HIV positive. You've shared utensils with someone who's HIV positive. You've rode a jeepney with someone who's HIV positive, for example. You know someone who's personally who's HIV positive, but you don't know that, and they may be your own family. And that's the reality.
Oh.
That's the truth. So that's basically the number that we want to.
So that's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is. 1 out of every possible 300 to about 700 is HIV positive.
And based on your statistics, I just want to know who has more positive results, like the females or the males? Can say daghan ba?
Okay, that is a very contentious question, no? And I understand where you're coming from. But I would rather share with you that 38% of our cases is because of drug use and sharing of needles.
Okay, so we have to set that first.
Yeah, we have to set the tone, okay?
Oh,
Set the
yes.
tone. And then another 32% is men who have sex with men.
Okay.
And then the remainder is basically men who have sex with women or men who have sex with men and women. Hindi po yung animal tsaka tao po. Wala kasama yon. Hindi po yung kasama.
Yes, yes.
Here in Cebu, primarily, it's still basically men who are getting basically the HIV. But globally, for example, if you look at the global scope, for example, more than half of HIV positive cases are females.
Okay.
Yes.
But then again, you've mentioned that there are like because
A certain behavior.
certain behaviors.
That's right.
Not necessarily because a lot of people really think that when you're positive, it's because you're promiscuous or like this. Not necessarily. It doesn't follow that way, right?
And
Here at Love Yourself, we believe that it's not really who you are, it's what you do. So maybe there's a high cases of this because they practice unprotected sex. It's not really because they're promiscuous, it's just that they were not able to use condom or they were uneducated about how to protect themselves when it comes to HIV.
And you know, and just coming off from what Maurice basically mentioned, when we talk about HIV, when we talk about cancer, people would automatically say that, I'll pray for you, I hope you get well. Diba? That's very common. But when someone basically has HIV, automatically they say that, hala ka bigaon, or kaigat mo, or diba? Those are automatic assumptions basically. So how do I tell you the story of, let's say, women who got themselves tested because they were molested by a priest? Do you judge them that they got tested, for example? That is actually very heartbreaking as well.
That's why I mentioned earlier na we have to break the stigma.
Right.
We have to break the stigma by educating people how they can get
And they can
HIV,
prevent it as
and they
well.
can prevent. Because it's not really because you're bigaon or
Exactly.
diba?
Tinuod.
HIV na gani ka, bigaon pa ka.
Exactly. There's still a lot of preconceived notions na if someone basically like a gay man is confined in a hospital, automatically is like, hala, HIV, AIDS na siya right away. Diba? Diba pwede pneumonia lang talaga?
And again, that's all correct. Again, that's all because of ignorance.
Ignorance, that's right.
So how do you, as the Love Yourself, your organization, how do you teach people? How do you educate them?
Sige.
We have different programs and platforms para ma-educate ang mga tao. For example, we have an active social media presence online. So for example, here on Facebook, please do follow us. It's facebook.com/LoveYourselfWhiteHouse. So there, nagdagan kami mga gibang posts ng mga activities namo. So for example, our events committee kay active kayo sila in organizing events. For example, last December 1, we had a Kiss and Play World AIDS Day awareness at Robinson's Fuente. So nambit yung mga entertainment activities like fashion show. We invited mga social media celebrities, and other than that, aside from that, Kuya Dennis is also part of Love University. It's the training team of Love Yourself. He goes to different schools, BPO companies, and they conduct HIV 101.
What's that?
Okay, so let me backtrack a bit lang, no? Because under the law kasi right now, under RA 11166, we're talking about the law, the Philippine HIV and AIDS law, that was basically just signed as of December 2018, and then the implementing rules and regulations released as of July. It is already a requirement for companies and for schools to have HIV 101 as part of the occupational safety and health. So if you talk about OSH, the 11058 RA naman siya, drug in the workplace, tuberculosis in the workplace, mental health, and now HIV and AIDS is already a requirement basically for education. So right now naman, I use my contacts basically in organizations like the Professional Management or Personal Management Association of the Philippines, so that I can go to different companies and I go to different schools and we conduct these sort of caravans. So it's really education. And Maurice mentioned that, last December 1, we also had mass testing with Biliana that was hosted by the Department of Health together with advocates, for example. We also had Zumba in Ayala. So Love Yourself was actually all over the place. So we were attacking it primarily from a social media perspective. They're very strong basically from a social media perspective, but they're also very strong as well in going for companies talaga. That's it.
That's great. So how does one become a volunteer for Love Yourself?
Si Pia Wurtzbach siya kasi Catriona Gray. So, yung requirement.
So actually, if you want,
So, just kidding.
if you want to be a volunteer, please go to this link, go.loveyourself.ph/Cebu volunteer. Again, it's go.loveyourself.ph/Cebu volunteer. So
Let's put that here. What does it take to be a volunteer?
You need to fill out that form mo at naka-interview, and then after that you need to attend the orientation.
I think Ms. Korea's question is more on what does it take to be a volunteer?
You need to have the commitment.
Well, that's commitment. And then I was just having this conversation basically with a friend of mine. And he said that, Dennis, you've done so many things, as an executive for various organizations and all. But how do you know that you've lived the life well lived? My answer was actually pretty simple. I said that, if I lived my life making a difference in one person's life, I've already made a difference.
That's beautiful.
Yes. So for us, basically, it's really the heart. Our volunteers come from different groups. We have engineers, chemists, artists, doctors. We have fashion designers. We have students, for example. All of them are basically tied with the same desire to basically help in the community. And I think it's all about giving back to the community that we are in. We're part of this community. We're all in this together.
So what does a volunteer do exactly?
Ay daghan. Marami tayong
Yeah, so for example, at Love Yourself, so if after your orientation, it is advised that you also attend a counselor's training. So you can also become an HIV counselor. So you can help conduct HIV screening in ANA. And aside from that, you can also join various committees. For example, I'm part of the communications team. So Kuya Dennis is part of the Love You or the Love University or the training team. We also have events team. The ITLY is also the head of ITLY.
Yes, the IT division.
Recruitment. So there are many ways for you to have. It's not really necessary nga mura gani og kinahanglan jud ka nga moadto sa among community center. As simple nga pag-share lang sa among social media posting or as simple nga pag-adto sa among event to support is really a simple way para lang gyud makapakita sa imong commitment and sa imong volunteerism.
Sige. But I heard na your center
Yes.
also offers HIV testing.
Right, that's right.
So can you walk us through how do we do the HIV testing?
So sa amo sa Love Yourself, so sulod nimo sa among community center, you will be greeted by our receptionist or among gitawag nga decker.
Is this open for everyone?
Yes, everyone.
Yes, it's
Regardless of age or na age?
Yes,
wala raman.
Okay, sige.
Sorry, I have to put a disclaimer to that.
15.
If you're below 15, because the law kasi require that if you're below 15 years of age, you need parental consent or a social worker to have, because that's a requirement. So we screen it first na kung ang age niya is below 15, we advise them to get parental consent. Okay, so let's say continue.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So actually, we're open from Wednesday to Sunday, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. So going back, after igsulod nimo, you will be greeted by our decker. So he or she will be giving you our tablet. Mo fill out ka dito sa mga data. Then mulingkod lang ka, you need to wait. A counselor will call you. At mo ato ka sa amo ang murag counseling room. mukandak sila sa counseling for 15 minutes. So for
Why
example,
do we have that counseling part? You just want to know whether you have it or not.
Uh,
What's
okay.
it for?
Sige. Let me answer that question because it's actually a requirement of the Department of Health. So it's a DOH protocol. You need to have pre-counseling and post-counseling. So pre-counseling, basically, we would have to make sure that we have consent, basically, of the person that they're going to get tested.
Okay.
And then at the same time, they also agree as well that the information that they're providing is also going to be saved as well for tracking
Monitoring.
purposes and monitoring purposes. But I just want to assure people that the process is very confidential, which means that even our DECA, for example, or our counselors, when they go out and say, look for a client, you don't have to put your real name. You can put a nickname there for, you know, for,
Alias.
so let's say, for example, you can go there as Julia Roberts.
All right. All right.
Okay, pwede. So, you know, you can go there as Julia Roberts. And then we would basically just call out lang the client number because our IT systems, naka-queue na siya. So, client number 1, client number 2, client number 3. And then, like what Maurice mentioned, basically you go into the counseling rooms. You do the pre-counseling, and then we do the prick, and then you wait for 15 minutes. So it takes only 15 minutes, and we would be able to give you your status. Now, the part of the counseling process and the post-counseling is that we walk you through your risky behavior. So we basically ask you, what sort of behavior do you do? Why is it that you wanted to have yourself tested in the first place?
Right.
What prompted you to do this? And just in case you become HIV positive, what are the things that you're going to do to make sure that you take care of yourself? And that's one thing that I wanted to emphasize very clearly, that what makes Love Yourself very unique. Love Yourself has this process that they refer to as life coaching or case managers. So a life coach is assigned to someone who's HIV positive, for example, for the next 6 months. Ang role niya, essentially, is to ensure that that person starts their medication. They also continuously provide support as well. So, for example, if the person has any question, they can call the life coach or the counselor, for example, and ask anything and under the sun, what sort of support.
Sir Dennis, is that free of charge?
Yes, it is free of
Wow.
charge. Yes, that's free of charge. And recently, we were basically asked to do a life coaching seminar, and members basically, or the counselors, Vicente Soto, City Health, joined basically because they wanted to follow the model that Love Yourself is doing.
But the testing, the pricking,
Yes.
you have to pay for that.
No.
it's free.
Oh, wow.
It's free, fast, and confidential.
Yes. So
Great.
So under the law, under RA 11166, testing, medication, social services, all of these are all provided for free by the state.
Okay.
There you go.
What do we tell people who actually, because this is for free, no?
Yes.
What do we tell people who want to get themselves tested but are just too embarrassed to do so? How would you encourage them?
For me is, we really want to assure the confidentiality of the process. So, for example, if moadto ka sa mga community center, no one will know maniadto ka. And also, we believe in early detection. So, early detection is key. So, it's really better to know your status early on. If ever, for example, if you will be reactive with HIV or positive with HIV, at least you know what mechanisms you need to do to protect yourself in the future. And for example, if you are non-reactive as well, kay bapog ka kung unsa imong mga kinahanglan nga buhaton to continue the protection that you currently have. Okay, for example, sa Love Yourself, so for example, if you're non-reactive, so we provide free condoms for you, we provide free lube. It's also one of our services man too. And also one of the ways para makaprotect sa imuha in getting HIV. So,
and there are many ways basically that you can also protect yourself from getting HIV. We have PrEP. So just want to share that PrEP is referred to as pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a medication that you can take like a daily pill that basically prevents HIV infection. So
there's such thing.
There is such a thing as PrEP.
But
so it's not for free, but that one is not free because
How
that's
much
not
is it?
covered. Okay. To put it into perspective, if you buy that in the US, for example, that's going to cost you easily $1,500
Per tablet.
per bottle for 30 days.
Okay.
But in the Philippines, since we have a partner called Camber Pharmaceuticals, we actually were able to bring it down to 1,200 pesos
per bottle.
for
Wow.
30 days. Diba? Barato kaayo, no? Oh.
That's just
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Big,
just
big difference.
Yes.
Whopping difference.
well, that's because of the fact that in the US, kasi the patent laws are very, very strict for them. So there's only one group that actually does and provide that. So PrEP actually is being manufactured in other countries, for example, like France, like India, and you can get that actually at a very low price. That's the reason why here in the Philippines, barato pagit siya kayo.
So, to who do you recommend this medicine or this PrEP?
Okay, who do we recommend this to? Anyone basically who understands that they engage in sexual practices. Diba? We always have this notion that you take care of your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, for example, but no one really takes care of their sexual health or sexual practices. If you are sexually active, and I'd like to again correct that notion that Love Yourself promotes sexual promiscuity, we don't.
Okay.
We promote sex positivism, which is basically making sure that you take charge of yourself and your behavior as well. So when you do that, make sure that you get the medication because it prevents basically the infection of HIV. That's it. We
How
covered a
does it-
lot.
Yeah, I'm glad actually.
Yes.
Going back to that medicine, I'm just because this is the first time I heard of that.
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, right?
So how does that work
Okay.
exactly?
How does it work? Okay, so the medicine basically, what it does is that, okay, let's go back to the process of how you get infected with HIV. So if you have contact with someone who's HIV positive, within 72 hours, you're already infectious. Okay? The medicine itself prevents the virus basically to attach itself to the human cell. To the human cells, for example.
Okay.
So once it is basically prevented from attaching itself to the human cells, then it is not possible for you to get infected.
Okay.
That is the
Okay.
purpose of the medication.
Okay, there you go.
There.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
sige.
that.
Thank you, Ms. Kriya.
Yeah, we covered a lot actually, no? Thank you, Jud.
Daghang kita gistoryahan.
Oh, Jud. No, murag wala lang, but we actually covered a lot. So, sige, anything that you want to add pa before I ask you to give a message to those who would like to have themselves tested and
What is that?
anything na about Love Yourself, about your activities that you want to add, maybe you want to promote something.
Una sa ka.
Nagpunahon na pa.
Sige. Sige ako
Sige,
na lang
sige.
ganit. I always believed that no one really dies of HIV, Ma'am Kriya.
Okay.
Miss Kriya na lang kasi Ma'am Kriya is like,
Sakit sa tuhod.
sakit! Pero, di ba? Mas matanda pa ako sa'yo, no? Excuse me. Okay. So, parang, you don't really die of HIV. What kills is ignorance.
I believe.
Yes.
I believe
So, I think for people to make sure that they get themselves educated, that's our best weapon. And the only way that you can prevent basically this disease from spreading further is to get yourself educated. And we need to remove the stigma, make sure that people understand that when you get yourself tested, there's no shame in getting yourself tested. When you go to Love Yourself, you will feel the difference because the environment is very Instagrammable friendly.
Oh.
All right. Really nice. We provide free coffee as well. You can also get free Wi-Fi. And then we're not just an HIV/AIDS center. In fact, our community center, we provide other seminars. For example, we just recently had digital art workshop.
Yeah,
Graphics design workshop. We had a features writing workshop. We had a Palanca award winner who basically came to do that. We do Saturdays.
Yoga.
Who was that? Who was that?
January.
Okay. And then on Saturdays we do Muay Thai. No, Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Saturdays. Muay Thai on Saturdays. Sundays we have yoga for life. We also have parang trivia nights. So I just want to say that at Love Yourself, it's not just about HIV and AIDS, but we want to build a community where people feel safe. So my message basically for those who feel scared, and this is like, a game changer for them. The moment you walk through the doors of Love Yourself, they feel welcome. The brand promise of Love Yourself is centered basically in iniingatan, inaalagaan, inaasikaso. And if you convert it to English, what does it mean?
Care.
Taking care.
Okay. Care, di ba?
Care.
Actually, mas deeper pa siya, Miss Kriya. Because inaalagaan means to cherish. You cherish the person. You cherish every interaction. And iniingatan is to take care of the person. And then inaasikaso is to show the Filipino hospitality. That when they go there, we serve them free coffee and everyone basically is just smiling. That's all.
For me is having HIV is not really a death sentence. I just want to add
Yes,
na lang po sa
yes.
iya. Kay, maybe the misconception of some people na hala naka-HIV kay murag mamatay na lang jud ka, you need to wait for your remaining days. That's not really the case. Personally, I have met a lot of PLHIVs who are thriving in their careers, who are kanang having an active lifestyle. So there's nothing wrong in knowing your status.
Right.
It's just that you know lang yun kung unsa ang imong buhaton nga kay bao na kasi imong status. So for example, if you know that you're PLHIV, then you need to know nga kinahanglan ka mo take sa imong medicine every day, you need to watch sa imong lifestyle, kinahanglan na ka mo kaon og sakto. Inaana lang ba kay I want to output kang Kuya Dennis nga mo lagi to nga wala gyud namatay sa
HIV.
sa HIV.
Ignorance and
Ignorance
nakamatay.
jud ang ana. Kay for example kay mo lagi na hala nahadlok ko kay maka-HIV ko so dili na nun sila magpa-detect, so ang may tabo na yun kay murag
Magkamatay na lang.
mamatay na
Oh,
mo
because
na lagi
they don't know
na.
how to take care of themselves.
That's
now.
right. And if you look at statistics in the US, for example, it's been proven people living with HIV who are on medication, for example, technically live longer compared to their counterparts because they take care of their health. They're much more conscious, basically, of what they eat. It is true. So it is actually not a death sentence. And thank you for sharing that. And that's something that I really believe in. That it is not a death sentence.
Thank you very much, Sir Marie, Sir Dennis, and thank
Yes,
you
Miss
also
Korea.
for organizations like yours, Love Yourself, Doctor. Helping people understand more about HIV. Again, taking away the stigma, taking away the ignorance, which is actually the one that truly kills.
Right, that's true.
Again, thank you so much,
Thank you
and we
po.
wish you all the best in your advocacy,
Right,
in your
ma'am.
organization. Salamat gid kaayo
Dagan
for
salamat
facing.
Sad for having us here.
Okay. And of course, dili angay kalitan, salamat everyone who is watching us right now. And please do not forget to share this video using our official hashtags CDN Digital and CDN Play. And follow us on our social media pages. That's at CDN Digital on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. This has been Priya Padilla Roleda. See you next time, Silois. Bye!
Bye-bye.